You know that feeling when you listen to someone speak English fluently and you just think, wow, I wish I could sound like that.
Oh, definitely. That smooth, confident delivery, it's something a lot of learners aim for.
Well, today we're diving into a really practical approach, something you can actually try right away that can help you get closer to that. It's a technique called shadowing.
Exactly. And it's really more than just repeating words, isn't it? It's about immersing yourself in the rhythm, the sort of music of the language.
Immersing yourself, yeah, in a very active way.
Right. Think of it like a direct imitation exercise for your speech muscles.
Okay, so for anyone who hasn't come across it before, what exactly does shadowing involve? Can you break it down simply?
Sure. Simply put, you listen to someone speaking English, maybe an audio recording or video,
Uh-huh.
and you repeat what they say almost at the same time, like just a split second behind them.
So your voice is literally the shadow of theirs.
That's the idea, yeah. And today we've actually got 3 different texts lined up, short, medium, and long, to sort of explore how this works.
Good. And the goal here, the real mission for you listening, is to understand how playing around with these different lengths can help your language learning.
hmm
We want you to find a tangible thing to try, a shadowing practice that feels, right for where you are now.
And what's really cool about shadowing is how it engages your brain. It's not just listening. You're physically trying to reproduce the sounds, the flow.
Mm,
It connects auditory input and speech output.
right. That makes sense. Okay, so let's get started. Our first thing to try, we'll begin with a short text, kind of like a warm-up.
Okay.
Here it is. Every morning, I drink a cup of coffee and read the news. This simple routine helps me start the day feeling informed and focused. I like to practice English words I come across, writing them down to review later.
Okay, so even in a short piece like that, there are some really important things you can focus on when you try shadowing.
Like what specifically?
Well, think about how words link together. For instance, drink a cup of.
Uh.
It often sounds more like drink a cup of in natural speech, doesn't it?
Yeah, it flows.
Paying attention to those connections, those little bridges between words, that's a really valuable thing to try.
Absolutely. That's what makes it sound so fluid, not choppy.
Yeah.
And what about the intonation, the melody?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Listen for where the voice goes up or down, at the end of questions, or for emphasis.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to mimic that melody is another great thing to try. It carries so much meaning.
It really does. So with a short text, is the main benefit just getting comfortable?
I'd say a big part of it is the repetition, yeah. You can listen and repeat it, say, 5 or 10 times without feeling totally overwhelmed.
Right.
And that repetition builds familiarity, almost like muscle memory for your mouth. It's a fantastic first thing to try just to build that basic confidence.
Okay, settles you in. So warm-up done. Now let's move on. A slightly longer piece next.
Let's do it. This next thing to try is a medium-length text. It's designed to help practice smoother, more connected speech, and also, give your listening a bit more of a workout.
Makes sense. Okay, here's the medium text. On weekends, I often visit local markets to buy fresh produce. It's a fun way to explore my neighborhood and meet new people. Sometimes I'll strike up a conversation with a vendor to learn about their products or discover recipes. After shopping, I like to cook a big meal and invite friends over to share the food. We usually end the day by watching a movie or playing board games together.
So with a text like this, what becomes more obvious is maybe the slightly more complex sentences.
Yeah, and just the length you have to sustain it for.
Exactly, the sustained rhythm. When you're shadowing this, you're really trying to maintain that natural flow over a longer stretch. That's a key thing to try for boosting fluency.
Okay, but trying to repeat a whole long sentence like that first one, it might feel a bit much all at once. So what's a good strategy, a good thing to try here?
That's a really good point. It can be daunting. So for a medium text, a helpful thing to try is definitely chunking. Break it down.
Chunking.
Yeah, into smaller, more manageable parts. So for that first sentence, you could listen and repeat. On weekends, I often visit local markets.
Uh-huh.
Pause, then listen and repeat to buy fresh produce. Find those natural pauses.
Okay. Like breaking down a big task into smaller steps makes it feel less intimidating.
Precisely. And as you shadow each chunk, another thing to try is really focusing on maintaining a natural speed.
Right. Not too fast, not too slow.
Yeah. Resist that urge to rush just to keep up or to slow down so much it sounds, unnatural. Find that comfortable conversational pace.
And if there are bits that are, a bit tricky, words you stumble over,
Go back. Definitely go back. That's a crucial part of this thing to try.
don't just push through.
No, I wouldn't. Rewind, repeat those tricky phrases or sentences maybe 5, 6 times until they start to feel smoother. The focused repetition. That's where the real learning happens.
Got it. Okay, building momentum here. Now, for the final hurdle, the final thing to try for today, the long text.
The challenge round.
Yeah, this one's more of a narrative, a little story about a trip to Japan. It's designed to really test your listening and pronunciation over longer sentences and more description. Ready?
Let's hear it.
Okay. I've always dreamed of seeing Japan in the spring, especially when the cherry blossoms are in full bloom. Arriving in Tokyo, I was amazed by the mix of modern skyscrapers and traditional temples. From there, I took a short train ride to a park famous for its pink sakura trees. As soon as I stepped off the train, I noticed delicate flower petals drifting through the air. Families and friends had gathered under the branches for picnic parties, laughing, eating local snacks, and taking photos. The atmosphere was cheerful and welcoming. Later, I tried a traditional tea ceremony where I learned about Japanese customs and savored a warm bowl of matcha. Although the trip lasted only a week, the beauty of those cherry blossoms left a lasting impression on me. Someday, I hope to return and explore even more of Japan's culture and breathtaking scenery.
Wow, yeah, that's a lovely passage. It really gives you a chance to work with, like you said, a wider range of words
Vocabulary.
and more varied sentence structures, all within a story, which helps keep you engaged, hopefully. When you try shadowing something like this, you're building real stamina.
It does feel like a step up. So, faced with this longer text, what are the key strategies, the main things to try to keep in mind so you don't get overwhelmed?
Well, the absolute number one thing is
Yeah.
don't try to do it all at once. That chunking idea we talked about,
Yeah.
it becomes even more important here.
So break it down even smaller.
Maybe paragraph by paragraph to start, or even just sentence by sentence if you need to. That's a really practical thing to try just to make it manageable.
Okay. Don't try to swallow it whole.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And another thing to try with a longer text like this,
Mm-hmm.
pay close attention to those longer multi-syllable words.
Oh, like traditional or atmosphere.
Precisely. Notice the stress patterns. Which syllable gets the emphasis? Traditional self-fear. Really listen for that. And try hard to replicate it. It makes a huge difference to sounding natural.
Right, so it's drilling down into the word itself, not just the overall flow. That's a good refinement, another thing to try.
Definitely. And maybe one more thing. Try to capture the feeling.
The feeling.
Yeah, the overall emotion or atmosphere of the passage. Here, there's a sense of wonder, maybe appreciation.
Right, for the cherry blossoms and the experience.
So trying to mirror that feeling in your own voice as you shadow, it just adds another layer of naturalness. It makes your English sound more, well, expressive. It's a subtle but powerful thing to try.
Okay, so recapping them. We've looked at 3 different lengths, short, medium, long. And the core thing to try all along has been shadowing.
Yep, actively listening and immediately repeating.
So if people want to make this shadowing practice really work for them, what are the key takeaways, the essential things to try for effective practice?
Okay, number one, I'd say is consistency. It's a huge one.
Right.
Even doing short, regular sessions, maybe just 10, 15 minutes a day, that's usually much better than one long session once a week.
Little and often, yeah. That always seems to work best for language learning.
It really does.
Yeah.
Another really helpful thing to try, though it might feel a bit weird at first,
Go on.
record yourself shadowing.
Ooh, okay. Listen back to yourself.
Yeah. It's like holding up a mirror, as you said earlier. It's an invaluable way to actually hear where your pronunciation or flow might differ from the original. It gives you instant feedback on your thing to try.
That makes sense. Hard, maybe, but useful.
Very useful.
Yeah.
And finally, once you feel a bit more comfortable, don't just stick to these examples. Think about expanding your things to try.
How so?
Use other audio, podcasts you like, short clips from movies, TV shows, maybe even news reports. Anything with clear spoken English that interests you, make it relevant.
Right. Find material you actually enjoy listening to. That keeps motivation up. So, as everyone's listening right now, maybe take a moment to think. How could you actually weave this shadowing technique, this thing to try, into your own routine?
Yeah, could setting aside just those few minutes each day really make a difference?
What do you think?
We genuinely believe it can. By actively engaging with spoken English in this really direct way, listening hard, trying to replicate it, you really can unlock new levels of understanding and expression. It's a fantastic thing to try for boosting both your fluency and your confidence.
It sounds like it really comes down to just, well, giving it a go and seeing how it feels for you, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Find the length, find the material that works, and just try it.
Great stuff. Thanks for exploring this really practical thing to try with us today.